There are several things you need to consider if your church is planning to start streaming your service. These are important to keep in mind whether you're starting from scratch or already have equipment you want to upgrade. First, you'll need 2 licenses, one to perform copyrighted worship songs and hymns, and another to stream your church services online. There are several companies that can provide these licenses, so it's important to compare pricing and license terms before making a final decision. Next is your internet connection. A typical place in a church for an internet service provider to install your internet modem would be in an office area. To prepare your church building for streaming, this modem will now need to be in a room closer to your sanctuary that's going to serve as your control room or booth. Having this directly accessible helps your equipment run with the best performance and compatibility. This should be done without adapters or extenders. Online, you can search for internet speed testers that will provide a readout of your internet upload and download speed. Run that test before and during your service. While recommended bandwidth and resolutions change over time, what I recommend now for streaming services in 1080p resolution is 5 megabits per second. Make sure these expectations are clear with your internet service provider. Next, let's talk about things to keep in mind as your church expands. Expansion is exciting, and you'll want a tech setup that can expand with it. Think ahead with your staff about where you want your live programming feed to go throughout your building, whether that's audio and video or just audio. These signals and destinations will help determine what equipment you need to buy. Next is audio. Like any other piece of equipment, your audio mixer needs to be suitable for your building. For streaming, you'll need to connect the audio mixer in your sanctuary to the device that you'll use for streaming. For fine-tuning your mix for an online audience, I recommend purchasing a separate mixer for just this purpose. When looking for the right mixer, think through these questions. What inputs are you already using, and what are the connection types? How do you see your setup expanding over time? How do you want to control your mixer, whether that's in person or using a mobile app or a tablet? And how comfortable are you with the board yourself? Could you train other people in your church to use it? You'll find quickly that it takes a team to make all of these elements come together well. Make sure that at every opportunity you have to learn your equipment that you don't do it by yourself. Learn as a group and cross-train as frequently as you can. With audio in mind, let's go over to wireless frequencies. All wireless equipment runs within a frequency range. The FCC has prohibited the use of wireless equipment like your handheld microphones and inner-ear systems from using the following frequencies. Over time, these frequencies have been reassigned to other services like public safety networks and wireless broadband services. If you're having trouble finding the frequency range of your equipment on the box or online, you can contact the manufacturer directly. For more information on this change, visit the FCC's page on the operation of wireless microphones. Thinking ahead to video needs, it's important to plan what content you want your in-person audience to see and what content you want your online audience to see. Whether your church uses TV monitors or projection screens, single camera or multiple cameras, these connections work best when they're kept consistent. For the best compatibility, use connections over Ethernet, HDMI, and SDI cable. Whether you're using a Mac or a PC, I highly recommend a computer with at least 16 gigabytes of RAM for displaying lyrics and slides. For playing videos and animations, go up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Use direct connections and avoid splitters, extenders, and adapters when it's possible. For video signals, use HDMI cable for distances up to 50 feet and SDI for anything over 50 feet. Your church has a unique culture, and your services are going to feature distinct moments that you'll want to capture. If possible, I encourage you to purchase a video switcher with multiple cameras to give your audience more detail and coverage of your services. There are many more topics to cover, so I encourage you to reach out to the Kentucky Baptist Convention. I am more than happy to help you plan what's best for your church. Helping you navigate media tech is just one way our cooperative work makes a difference as we reach Kentucky and the world for Christ.